Hello and welcome to my Hound of Baskervilles by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle review. So, in case you don't know, this is Sherlock's story, and I read it from this book, which this whole book is not just the Hound of Baskervilles, in case that's what you were wondering. This is just all of them. This is a collection of them all that I got at Barnes & Noble. So, this is the book that I read from. And so there will be spoilers in this, but I will let you know when they are coming. Okay, so first, just a summary. Sherlock and John Watson have this guy named Dr. Mortimer come to their flat, and he tells them about this murder that happened. His name was Sir Charles Baskervilles, and his family has this story that a hound killed his ancestor named Sir Hugo Baskerville, and so now their family's cursed with hounds. And so when Sir Charles Baskerville was found dead, there was no marks on him, he wasn't strangled, he had a heart attack out of fear. And there was a hound print right by the body, so they think it's part of the curse. But anyway, so then Sherlock and John are supposed to go and figure out how he actually died. So that's what the story is about. It's pretty cool. I really liked it, so I suggest that you read it if you're into mystery, and especially Sherlock Holmes. Like, I'm really into the Sherlock BBC series, so I mean, I went into this thinking about that, and I really like that. So it was really fun. It's a good read. Love it, love it. Okay, so now spoilers might start to come up, so if you don't want to hear more about the book until you read it, I suggest you leave now. Bye. Okay, spoilers, here we go. So, basically I thought it was really cool how they had the boot. His boot was stolen. Sir Henry Baskerville, who was the nephew to Sir Charles, and he came from Canada, where he had been living, to come and figure out his inheritance and his home, Sir Charles' home. He gave it to them, to Henry. Oh boy. Anyway, so I thought it was really cool because his boot got stolen, and then at the end they found it with Mr. Stapleton, who was the one that killed Sir Charles, basically for his money, because he was actually part of their family. You figure out. He said that he had a sister, but it was really his wife, and they moved there from South America or Spain or something. And so they were brother and sister, they said, but then Sherlock realizes that they were actually husband and wife. But it was pretty cool. I thought that was just a fun little twist. And then I really liked how they had Stapleton fall into this quicksand, which just like swallowed him up. And it was funny too, because earlier he told John not to fall in it, and then he went and fell in it, which was kind of funny. And then I really, at the beginning of the book, I just really had like Scooby-Doo vibe going on, and I don't really know why. It just kind of seems like a Scooby-Doo story, and they had to like unmask the guy. I don't know why I thought that, but so yeah. And then there was this painting they had of a Baskerville, and they look at it, John and Sherlock, and they realize, oh my gosh, this looks like Stapleton, and that's when they realized that he was actually related to them. He is Sir Charles' other nephew, so that's interesting. And there was also a family, the Barrymores, and there was a convict loose. So when I was reading the story, it's like, why is there this convict in the story? But you find out that he is Mrs. Barrymore, the housekeeper's wife's brother. So they're taking care of him secretly and giving him food and clothes and other things, and then they find a dead body, and Sherlock thinks that it was Sir Henry, but it actually was the convict, the dead convict. So that was kind of a fun twist too. I was like, oh my gosh, Sherlock's client died. He was like, oh boy, my client had to die to figure out this case, but actually he didn't die. He was a convict. So that was kind of a fun thing too. One thing I really didn't like though was John, at one point Sherlock said that he wasn't in London, or he said he was in London, he wasn't going to be at this place where the moor where the Baskervilles live. So John was there, and he like wrote the story into letter form to Sherlock. I don't know if I really like that or not, but I thought it was funny too, because then Sherlock was in London, so he said, but he was really living in a tent outside the Baskervilles home. So that was just a fun little twist. And then at the end, it like wrapped it all up, and it told us everything, how Stapleton was related. His father was brothers with Sir Charles, and it just, I don't know, it just really helped pull the whole thing together. But then like at the very end, it said, Sherlock was like, hey John, would you like to go to wherever they were going? I can't remember. And eat or something, and I just thought it was really cute how they ended like, they just ended really cute, you know, it wasn't like a murder, just, I like how it ended with a question, but it wasn't like a question on the story, it's just them and their lives. Sherlock fan. Yeah, so I would probably rate this book 4.5 stars out of 5. I really liked it. It was actually, some parts I was like a little bit bored, but then others I was like so into it, and I was like, why am I so into this story? And then another thing I really like too is like, I was expecting so many English slangs and things I wouldn't understand, like I did in Lord of the Flies or other British literature, like Charles Dickens. But Arthur Conan Doyle, he really writes well. He doesn't make it confusing with all these British words. It's just, I felt like I was reading a book that was written by an American guy with U's and some words. You get what I'm saying. But yeah, so I really recommend this story. And so if you just have time, I would say read a Sherlock story. I don't know, they're really cute. So yeah, I hope you like my review. Sorry if you heard planes in the background. Gosh, living in the city life. I'm sorry, I'm really not cool at all. All right, cheerio.